Manchester United, a club synonymous with success, legacy and global admiration. Yet, as the seasons roll on, fans are left wondering, is the senior management steering the ship back to glory, or are they drifting further away? In this video, we'll explore the successes, the pitfalls and the big questions surrounding the leadership at Old Trafford. Sit back, relax, and hopefully, Man United won't have conceded a set-piece goal by the end of the video. The new dawn or false hope. When Manchester United's new CEO took charge just weeks before the season began, optimism was in the air. Former player Gary Neville reflected on the appointment, saying, "He's obviously had a brilliant, amazing grounding at Man City and Barcelona, two of the most successful clubs of the last 15 years. It looks like Man United are making more sound decisions and are on the right track, and that can only be a positive." Ratcliffe was not going to come in and not disrupt things. The disruption has started pretty quickly. Expectations of early signings, offloading dead weight, and a clear vision for the future were at the top of fans' minds, raising the question, would this be the dawn of a new era, or just another false start? Omar Berrada, who joined United after more than a decade at Manchester City, emphasised a structured approach to success. Speaking before his move to United was confirmed, Berrada explained that City's achievements were by design, not by luck, driven by an effective structure off the pitch that ensured success on it. Berrada's mantra contrasts sharply with former CEO Ed Woodward's approach, who famously claimed, "Playing performance doesn't really have a meaningful impact on what we can do on the commercial side of the business." For Berrada, commercial growth is underpinned by success on the pitch, turbocharged by a sound business strategy. Man United fans couldn't be more excited. Any shift from Ed Woodward was welcome. The question is, will this shift deliver the long-awaited success, or will they be stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity? Talking about mediocrity, who watches a channel with fewer than 2,000 subscribers? Well, you do. You know what? Let's get more people as wise as you on board by hitting like, subscribe and the bell icon. Let's go! Back to the video. Here's how we'll break it down. 1. A close look at the senior management changes made at Manchester United. 2. The two manager changes, the bald one and the one who beats Pep. 3. Evaluating the new management's approach. Is it pragmatic or a selfish endeavour hurting fans? Structural overhaul or chaos? Manchester United's new football structure has been nothing short of a whirlwind since Sir Jim Ratcliffe took over the footballing side. Omar Berrada now leads the charge as the head of the football structure, with experienced names like Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell in key positions. However, not all appointments have stood the test of time. Dan Ashworth barely lasted 6 months, departing in December 2024, leaving fans jokingly wondering if he even had time to unpack his office. I know what you're thinking. Didn't they get a new set-piece coach? Yes, they did, Andreas Georgsson. But things have gone from bad to worse even after switching the set-piece coach. Amorim decided to take set-piece responsibilities off Andreas Georgsson, give them to his former Sporting Lisbon assistant Carlos Fernandes. Their combined effort has yielded one of the worst set-piece defensive forms in Manchester United's Premier League history. This glaring issue highlights deeper systemic problems that even new appointments have struggled to resolve. What about the fans? Some fans instantly appreciated the impact of the new team in charge, claiming that the summer transfer window was one of their best transfer windows in years after signing Ligt, Mazraoui, Yoro and Zirkzee. Some are now firing back, wondering how it was a success and only one signing has delivered. I mean, only Mazraoui looks like the signing that worked. The truth lies somewhere in between. De Ligt's potential remains untapped. Yoro is promising but untested, and Zirkzee, well, the jury's still out. We discussed transfers in another video, link in the description. But is this enough to label the window a success? Or is it another example of misplaced optimism? Managerial musical chairs. Well, the manager changes have been as dramatic and almost as frequent as the Tories switching prime ministers during a political crisis. Manchester United finished 8th in the Premier League with a negative goal difference, their worst position since the early 90s. This didn't stop the senior management from extending Ten Hag's contract through to 2026. Ten Hag didn't last after the July contract extension. By October, he was sacked. His assistant, Ruud van Nistelrooy, took charge of the team as interim head, As a suffering philosopher would say, this too shall pass. Ruud van Nistelrooy would only take charge of 4 games, giving way to the one who beats Pep, Ruben Amorim. For some, this was a sign that finally Manchester United was done with terrible decisions. A new day, a new dawn of getting things right, and here we agree. Let's take it back. A few months ago, Sporting fans were in tears as their beloved coach left. To understand why, we need to go further back. Before he arrived in 2020, Sporting was in an 18-year title drought. In his first full season, he went 32 matches unbeaten, Sporting's first league title in 19 years. In his last full season at Sporting, he would lead the team to a dominant title win, eclipsing rivals Benfica and Porto. Now you understand why the fans were emotional. It's clear that he won't be able to replicate the quick success he achieved in Portugal, but there is definitely a good manager there. On this one, United got it right. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, visionary or villain? INEOS took over the football operations after acquiring 25% of the club. Now, there is disquiet among fans and former players. This is what Scholes had to say.
Nothing positive happening with the football club. The team looked bang average, as the position in the league will say, and as I said before, they're not doing anything for fans.
Fans have also shared their displeasure on the decisions being made, like hiking ticket prices, staff redundancy, cutting staff rewards, bonuses and prizes, Fergie's ambassadorial role done away with, and cuts on funds meant for charity. These drastic changes have overshadowed any good the senior management has done, leaving fans feeling cheated. Maybe INEOS is just a watered-down version of the Glazers. However, some believe that there are no parallels. INEOS have installed a decent football structure, invested $300 million into the club and £50 million on Carrington upgrades, pushed for Old Trafford redevelopment, restructured the player wage bill and met with key stakeholders. All these point to effort fans never saw from the Glazers. Can these efforts justify the austerity measures? The Glazers financially led United into a debt pit, leaving United in the red for the first time since the 1930s, adding to the list of problems the INEOS team finds itself in. You'd think they would be numb to the pain, but the wounded fan base is not ready to soak up more disappointment. Clearly there is no appetite for ticket price hikes and charity cuts. Here, INEOS has failed terribly. Will they walk back on these decisions? As Ralph Rangnick once said, Manchester United needs open heart surgery. After the myriad of changes, it feels like divine intervention is also needed. The surgery isn't working and the club is bleeding out. Or is it? The decisions made by the senior management today will shape the club's future for years to come. Whether you're optimistic or skeptical, one thing is clear. The journey back to glory is far from over. What do you think? Is United's senior management on the right track? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more in-depth football analysis. See you in the next video.